Welcome to the Important Questions Podcast, the only show where two hosts might have diarrhea during the show. My name is Dave, and I'm here with the Acolytes of Knowledge, Smitty, Scott, and Rico. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's happening?
Hello, fellow diarrhea man.
Going through some hard times in the podcast at the moment.
You just took away
the U.S. is experiencing record norovirus cases, a terrible gastrointestinal virus, which is going around making its rounds. And Rico's just got done shitting and barfing. And I'm, fingers crossed here, it might have just been food poisoning, but I've been shitting a bit today as well. I'm on, we're recording here at about 7:40 Central Time, PM, and I've shit 6 times today.
That sounds
So
about
we're
right.
in a sample size of 4. We're at a rate of 25 to 50% norovirus infection in the United States.
Don't
That's
forget
correct.
to find us on social media and vote for myself for Smitty to see who's going to get the shits next.
Oh shit! I didn't
Yeah.
wear a mask this.
And then
video call.
Rico, I know you're on the tail end of your infection at this
Yeah.
point, but when you first had it, how many times did you shit that first day?
Probably 10 times
10 times?
at least.
Okay. And that's going to bring me into this week's warm-up question. But before I do, got to say what the show is. This is the show that answers life's most important questions. There are 4 hosts. We are the Acolytes of Knowledge, 4 questions, and it guides us through the topics of the week. That's what you could expect every single week. But first, that sweet, sweet warm-up question that I have for you all this week. I was talking to a friend of mine on Twitter. We have a group chat that goes around, and when I mentioned that I was taking my 5th poop of the day, and remember, I'm currently on 6, his response is, "How are you not dead?" And I thought that was a little bit of an overreaction, right? Because 5 poops isn't like, how are you dead? 5 poops to me is more like, that's a lot of poops. So I want to know, what is your scale of daily poops on how concerned you are with the person who's pooping?
Depends on severity for me. Like, is my stomach upset? Am I running? Am I shotgunning a bunch of liquid to the back of the bowl? Because, 5 is kind of painful. If they're 5 regular size poops, I don't know if I'd be concerned. I would just question what the fuck I ate the day before.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it was diarrhea, Scott, would you, like, I don't think 5 poops is like, how are you not dead? 5 poops is like, are you okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think 10
100%.
poops, Rico, 10 poops, I might say, how are you not dead? That's a lot of poops.
Yeah.
That's when you shit your ass
oops.
off your body.
Yeah, I mean, most of them were like liquid. But yeah, I mean, I lost like over 5 pounds over the course of 3 days. So
God damn, dude.
You staying hydrated?
I've been drinking some Gatorade and a lot of water.
Good,
Yeah.
man. Holy shit.
Yeah, for me, I'd say like on a normal day, 3 would probably be like, what's going on with your body, dude? But yeah, I guess it would also kind of depend on severity and viscosity.
Yeah, I think any other person I would heard, like, I pooped 3 times today, I'd be like, you got an active day. Like, that'd be my response. Like, okay, that's a little above average, but like still within the realm of average. 5, a little concerned, just like, oh, dude, you okay? Like something like that. Like kind of joking around.
yeah.
I don't know if 10 maybe crosses that line into how are you not dead yet? Maybe a little bit more than 10.
I think 8 to 10 is where I'm like, are you okay? And like concerned.
Right.
I think
There's like,
anything
are you
after
okay?
12 anything after 12 is like, do we need to take you to the ER?
Yeah. Okay.
It goes from "Are you okay?" to "Jesus, are you fucking okay?"
Yeah.
Right. There's like the comedic, like, dude, you okay? 5 shits. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then the, dude, are you okay? Do you need me to go get something from? Do you need me to like get you some crackers or some Pedialyte,
Yeah.
something to rehydrate you? Like, are you okay?
That's one
Yeah, I
thing.
think 12. That's a good number too, Smitty. 12 is maybe we should go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fortunate. I got some friends that still work at the hospital close by. So if that ever happened, I can ask them to bring me stuff, and I can start an IV on myself and give me some fluids.
Look at you, buddy.
Yeah, it'd be pretty fucking cool. I'll do house visits for you guys, but I charge out the ass. So
Just
You
like
don't
every
take
other
insurance
health.
either, do you?
Yeah.
personally, no.
Punny.
then we can go the other way too. If somebody hasn't shit in like how many days, what's concerning?
Well,
Ooh.
that depends on which of us it is, because you go quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, I
sometimes.
I do. I've got
Smitty's like, I haven't shit in 2 weeks. We're like, you'll get there, bud.
Yeah.
3 weeks. You okay, man?
Hard to
Give
gauge.
it time. Give it
Smitty's
time.
like, I pooped once a day for a week. We're like, are you okay? Holy shit! Do we
Yeah.
have to take you to the hospital?
Exactly. I poop once a day for like 3 weeks straight. Why are you not dead?
If I don't poop at all one day, like the next day, I'm like, I better poop within the next hour, otherwise I'm gonna start freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
if I
like
get that far.
I think literally the
Not
only
freaking
reason I
out.
don't poop more is because I'm dehydrated all the time. Because like I can't just use the bathroom whenever I want at work. So
I know that.
I
feeling.
limit my fluid intake just so I don't have to piss while I'm in class. And that's bad. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, I know the feeling though. It's not fun.
Yeah.
And then you like chug a bunch of water when you're about ready to be off work, and then you just piss nonstop from the evening until you have to go to bed, and that's annoying as shit.
Pretty much.
Hell yeah.
I would say 24
Three.
hours without poop. I'm just like, okay, I'm aware of the fact that I haven't pooped in 24 hours. 48 hours. That's where I'd get a little bit nervous, Scott. I think after the second day, I would wonder why the hell I haven't shit or even had like the urge to shit.
Yeah.
I picture it like the face that you have right now. You're just like side eye looking up at the ceiling.
Yeah.
When was the last time counting 37
Little
hours?
thought bubbles up here. Like, when was the last time?
Why the hell haven't I
shit?
shit? Probably a couple of days for me. I'd be like, yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? I don't know. For some reason, I don't think that would concern me that much. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I mean, the food's got to go somewhere. Like that.
I
That's
guess,
to me.
yeah.
That's my concern, right? Is like if I keep eating but I'm not shitting, then where the fuck is it going?
Straight to
Maybe
your
my
nips.
brain uses it
And
for
then you'll
energy,
blow
and
up.
that's why I do so much dumb shit. I'm so stupid.
Anyways, that's my warm-up question for the week. Thanks, boys, for answering my warm-up on the scale of daily poops.
We know our
I-
threshold now for when we need to call 911 for each other.
I'm gonna go through our texts and try and figure out how many times I pooped this weekend. Although I didn't text you guys every time because you would have been annoyed if I had texted you every time.
That's
Dave, you have to
My
blatantly
text
fingers
us
wrong.
would
every
have
time.
fallen off.
That's
Huh?
blatantly wrong, Rico. I would have appreciated. You could text like you could do a text a minute for 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
I'd be
I'll
all
remember
right.
that next time I have
Probably
norovirus.
by like your
That'd be all right.
15th poo or something in the same day, I would have just mailed you get well soon flowers. But no, you
Well-
didn't text us, so no flowers.
I threw up twice before 6:30 a.m.
That's like mouth pooping.
Yeah.
It is like mouth pooping.
No
That totally
shit.
counts.
I still don't like it. Yeah.
I would prefer having diarrhea over vomiting. Like
I-
10 out of 10 times.
I agree.
Oh yeah, pooped and threw up twice before 6:30 a.m. It's a pretty good start. I
will say
for the
it's
first
pretty
time at
nice,
4:58.
You made a comment, Rico, that you cleansed your dirty bunghole with a good old bidet washing,
Mhm.
and that's good. Like you don't know how lucky you are to have that bidet
As many
because you can
times
do
as
some
I shit-
damage. You can do some
Yeah, as many-
damage wiping that much.
Yeah, as many times as I shit this weekend, my asshole's totally fine.
Thank
That's
God.
Totally
that's
fine.
amazing.
Doesn't
Your
hurt at
asshole's
all.
immaculate.
I would just be
Ready to
taking
fuck.
10 showers, man.
You would have taken 10 showers.
20 shits, 10
Yeah.
showers.
Oh,
Good ratio.
that way I can, yeah.
Blast
So
one
do
out
you
in the
do you
tub. What?
wipe the times that you shower or no?
What?
Do you wipe the times that you shower or do you just let the water do it? And in that event, do you wash your legs?
Ew, no. Poop sterile.
Oh, that's true. Good
Yeah.
point.
I've honestly never had to hop in the shower because I've pooped so hard, and I still would want to wipe before. I don't know why, but I'd still want to.
Smart.
You'd want to get at least the gist of it out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like I can understand not like wiping it to the point of clean paper if you're gonna jump right in the shower.
right.
But you're gonna have to make a few wipes because otherwise you're gonna like look down at your feet while you're showering and you're just gonna see like
Yeah,
the
it's gonna be
brown
gross.
water starting to like run down.
Yeah.
That's not a picture you want to see in the shower.
And then I would have to wash my legs.
yeah, and who wants to do that?
Yeah, no, not me.
Just so we can change topic, I've got a crispy Coke, a crispy can here.
That says Canada Dry on it.
Yeah, I was a Coke. But it's Canada Dry. Not a sponsor, but
Thanks for
Love
cracking that
Canada
open. Let's
Dry.
still talk about poop.
love me some Canada Dry. It's so good. I can talk all day about how good Canada Dry is.
Did you know ginger's good for settling an upset stomach?
That's
Fuck,
a,
there's a segue.
that's
Shit.
100% true. 100% true. I've actually gone as far as like trying to mix up like powdered ginger and water if my stomach's been upset, and it's gross because it's so granular, but it helps. Or it's placebo, one of the two.
Am I satisfied?
Are you?
I'm pretty sure I am.
Okay.
Was your question,
Um,
did you know that ginger helps an upset stomach?
Probably. That was probably my question.
Perfect.
Rico,
Oh, Jesus.
what's your question?
All right. So, Smitty, I mentioned this earlier. You're probably having a lot of ammo for this one. So, I was outside grilling yesterday.
Hell yeah.
And the
As you
kids
do.
next door were jumping on their trampoline. And they seem like shitheads. They're like no more than 9, 8-ish. And they swear more than I do. And I consider myself like I swear quite a bit. Like they were throwing out motherfuckers at each other and they're like brother and sister. And I'm like, that is weird. I don't think that I was like that when I was a little
Yeah.
kid. So, and this doesn't have to go back to your 8 because we don't remember all that much, I guess. But were we like that when we were that young or like a little bit older, or has it gotten worse over time?
I'm gonna say it's gotten worse. I don't remember like really religiously cussing at my friends until I was in at least like 8th grade.
I was dropping F-bombs in 5th, I think.
5th is where I got my start because I thought it was cool.
That's like what,
It was
10 or
cool,
11
and
years old,
still
5th
is.
grade?
Hell yeah. What'd you say, Dave?
I was just thinking of the age. Like 5th grade is 10 or 11, I think.
Yeah.
Sometime around there.
It's 10, I believe.
I don't remember cussing like that. I also would have had like a permanent belt mark on the side of my face if I did, if I was ever caught.
I was going to say, like, we swore at that time, but we definitely weren't, like, shouting at each other. Like, I remember
is,
still, like, you would do, like, that look over both shoulders before I told someone to go fuck themselves.
Mhm.
Right.
And this is in a backyard that's like 3 feet away from their back door, and their house is pretty small. So like the parents, and they know what's going on. They just don't care.
Or the parents just aren't home.
Or the parents are like, "You shut the fuck up, you stupid motherfuckers."
Yeah.
I didn't
so-
choose to have
they're learning
fucking
it from
kids.
somewhere, but
I will say it might be also situational, Rico, because I do remember when I was a kid, I was in a youth bowling league, and I remember there being kids my age that they would talk to their parents with kind of that same voice, with the same kind of, what do you call it, sailor potty mouth to their parents. Like I remember being outside of the bowling alley once upon a time, and this kid walked out, and I don't know what the context of the conversation was, but this kid walks out with his mom and just goes, "I don't give a fuck about that guy. He didn't know shit." And that's all I
Oh,
remember hearing
Jesus.
as they walked off towards their car, and the mom's just like, "Okay, honey, that's fine."
I remember
Jesus.
having
oh no.
2 friends. They were brothers, and their parents let them swear like whenever, but also like their dad, anytime he was around, like I remember he let us light off fireworks, like firecrackers and stuff in the street, and his lighter was a middle finger, and when you like lit it, it went fuck you. So like naturally both those kids would cuss all the time. When I was over there, I'm like, sure, I guess I can get into it. And then if like any part of that ever slipped out like to my parents, like I said, I would have gotten my shit kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still
Mhm.
don't really swear around my parents.
I don't either.
And if I do, it's like, tame ones like damn and ass and hell.
You know what's weird, Smitty, is I don't really do that either in front of my parents, but my parents are avid players of Jackbox. I don't know if you're familiar with that
Yeah.
series of games and whatnot, but a lot of them require drawing. and I started realizing that both my dad and I default to drawing dicks for like everything. So we've crossed that boundary, but I don't say fuck in front of them.
I started dropping F-bombs not long after both my parents got divorced, and it was like part of it was like an anger thing, depending on some of the talks or discussions, arguments, whatever you want to call them, that we would have, and then it just became like normal. And same thing with like my grandma. I would let one slip, and now every now and then my grandma will drop an F-bomb, and I'm like, "You're so fucking cool. I love you so fucking much. This is awesome."
Give me a fucking hug, you motherfucker.
Yeah, and you know I would too. That shit would be awesome. Yeah. I'd embrace her, be like,
You son of a bitch.
Smitty, weren't you saying that one of the students that you teach recently was like making allusions to their teacher giving blowjobs or something?
Yeah. Okay. So, this was not me. This was not my class. It was the in my room. There's a classroom off of my room because it used to be the shop room. So they used to be like the actual classroom, and my main classroom is like what used to be where the machines and stuff were. So, in her room, she was teaching some 8th grade kids, and the 8th grade boys this year are shitheads. Just like almost universally, they're all shitheads. There's a couple of them who will grow out of it, but there's plenty of them who are going to continue being shitheads probably for the rest of their lives. Even if they get called on it, they're just going to be shitheads.
children are the future.
And that's not necessarily typical because the 7th graders and the 6th graders aren't really like that, at least not yet. But anyway, there were 2 8th grade boys in her class, and in her class, the lesson was something like it was something with economics and running a business. So they had to make a menu for like a restaurant they were going to open, right? These kids, they were like throwing some slang around. I don't even remember what it was. It was something that I'd never heard before, but it was slang for a person who was really good at giving head. And like the teacher, she's like, I don't know, like middle age. She's probably like almost 60. She didn't know what it meant, but she could fucking tell that it was like something transgressive because the kids are not subtle about that shit. And so she like took their papers and like looked it up, and then she fucking wrote them both up because it's like, yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? But like they wrote a fucking slang word for somebody who's good at giving head on their projects. And you could if you don't recognize a word that a kid is writing, either they have terrible penmanship or it's a fucking not a good word that you should be using in school. Like, I don't give a shit what the kids do outside of school. Like, they can talk however they want, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But like,
dead to you at that point.
Yeah, basically, they're on my site. I don't give a shit. But like when you come in school, you have to have some decorum.
Right.
Like, I talk like this, like outside my fucking job, but I'm not gonna talk like this in school, obviously. So I expect the same from the kids, you know. But
Wait, when you and kids run into each other at the grocery store, do you just like motherfucker each other?
Fuck off, kids.
it has
Eat shit and
surprisingly-
die.
It has not happened where I've run into any of my kids at a grocery store. Thank God, because my wife has driven me to the grocery store while I'm high and she's not. And I'll just be like in Burkott's, just like, oh, like being a fucking idiot.
Cabbage.
And like, I have had like, what? What'd you say?
Cabbage.
Yeah. I've had moments where I'm like, oh God, I hope I don't run into a kid while I'm super high in a grocery store.
That would
But
kind of be
as-
funny.
Hasn't happened yet. The worst thing that's happened is I was in the coffee shop in town, and a couple of my 6th grade kids came in to get coffees in the morning, which they don't fucking
What?
need that shit. But anyway, they showed up and they were like ahead of me, and they saw me walk in, and their eyes got really big, and they got like really weirded out, as if I was like away from home, my fucking school, you know.
Did
Like,
you ever
I don't
have that
have
feeling as a
I don't
kid,
have
though?
a vivid normal life outside of my fucking job, you know.
I feel like every kid had that mentality, though.
Yeah.
Well, right, like I don't
it's
fault
very
them for that.
weird,
But,
to
like,
see
I'll
your
make fun of
teacher
them for
outside
that.
of school.
Yeah.
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 I still think it's weird that kids are drinking coffee. Like, I didn't start drinking coffee religiously until I was like a freshman in college.
Yeah.
Because for some reason I was like, that's just what's normal, you know? And
Right.
I'll have like my 14-year-old cousin or whatever. He's like, yeah, I like my coffee like this. I'm like, what? Are you fucking serious?
You don't need that shit, dude.
Right. I was like, man,
Yeah.
if you need that stuff this early now, you're gonna get fucked when you grow
Like,
up into an
These
adult.
6th grade kids who were getting their coffee drinks, like, I think for what it's worth, what they ordered was like some sort of like one of the. It wasn't a Starbucks, but like they have like frappuccinos and shit,
Right, right.
which are basically just a milkshake with some coffee added in.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I think that's what they were drinking. So it was mostly just sugar and milk,
yeah.
which I mean isn't good,
Mm.
but you know,
But
it's
it
not like
tastes
they're
fucking nice.
hyper caffeinated in my fucking class.
Or like the amount of kids that drink energy drinks too. It's like, what the
That's
fuck,
really bad.
man?
Some
Like
of that
you're
shit is like worse than coffee.
like you're
easily.
already bouncing off the
describing me.
goddamn walls.
I was
This
drinking
is describing
Monsters in
me. Yep.
high school. Unfortunately, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
there was a period of time, and they got rid of all the good
Jolt.
flavors of Monsters, and they can go fuck themselves. There's no more
Jolt
M80.
Cola?
There's no more Monstrous Salt. Fuck all that shit. Jolt was good too, Rico.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it's
I was not good
yeah,
in my
I
body
don't know.
as a kid, and I still am not.
I mean, maybe it's just me, or maybe it was because I started early on, but now I can't have a lot of caffeine, or I will get very anxious.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I'm talking like
me.
almost like 2.5 cups of coffee is all it takes for me to go from awake and alert to I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
You feel like
So-
tingles and spiders on your arms and stuff.
Not so much tingles as it just feels like it almost feels like that first part of being high where you feel like you're gonna float out of your skin, but like without any of the
Oh, yeah.
pleasure.
Oh, I get like
Oh.
the hypoglycemic kind of feelings where you're like sweaty, you're like jittery, you're like, I don't know if I'm hungry or if I'm gonna throw up, and like I
yeah,
got a
some of
little-
that too.
Yeah, like a little bit of a headache.
I'm trying
No,
to think
thank
of
you.
like I don't think kids have changed that much since we've been in school.
I feel like the
Because,
worst.
like-
Sorry.
No, I mean like we did dumb shit in school too, and like a lot of the kids we knew
Totally.
did dumb shit. And like I mean, growing up doesn't get any easier. I get it. And these are kids who are raised primarily by the internet. So
Yeah.
God knows what they're consuming every fucking day. But-
Yeah, I was like the internet and like COVID.
I feel like
Shit.
the
Oh,
worst.
COVID fucked people up real bad,
Yeah.
socially at least.
Like the worst thing that I remember doing wasn't really like cussing or anything in middle school, but one of our friends had this binder, and anytime he took that binder out, whoever was in the classroom, like obviously in our friend circle, would always grab the binder and draw dicks on it. Like, I mean, it started out blank and it was just fucking filled to the brim, and he got in trouble for it a couple times, which I felt bad for because he didn't draw any of them.
Mhm.
But that's the like the worst I remember being was just drawing dicks on our friend's binder.
I remember in high school, like the school classrooms had those drop ceilings that are like really cheap,
Mm-hmm.
and so kids would take like a really sharp pencil and like flick it at the ceiling, and sometimes
Mhm.
it'll stick in.
Paper
Like,
clips with erasers on them or something.
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But like, I was thinking about that because I had kids throw fucking glue sticks on my ceiling, and like they were
Right on.
whipping them at the ceiling because what they do, they take like a little Elmer's glue stick and they'd unscrew it all the way and pull the actual glue part out and just whip it at the ceiling. And I've got like, it's a really tall ceiling, so they have to really whip it hard to get it to stick. And this is while I was out. There was a sub for a couple of days. And so they were doing that while the sub was there, like because I would have immediately noticed that one of these kids was fucking doing something, but subs don't do shit most of the time.
Why don't they? Why is it? I don't know why I'm bringing this up as if you're gonna fucking know, but maybe it's
This inside baseball, man.
I don't know. Yeah, give us the inside fucking scoop, man. How come all subs are fucking dumb?
They're not all dumb, but it can be really intimidating walking into a class full of strangers, especially because you have, unless the teacher leaves like meticulous notes about who to watch out for, which I try to do because I've been a sub and it sucks. You have no clue what the demeanor is going to be like in that class, and that can be really intimidating. So,
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, you're a stranger walking into a room of strangers, and they all know each other. You don't know any of them, or you might not. So, that's that puts some pressure on you,
Mhm.
and it puts people on edge. And sometimes that's enough to like really like diminish how much power a sub can have. As
Or
if a
even-
classroom is full of people who just do not give a shit what you have to say because you're a sub.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would, as like, if I were a sub, I would also be afraid to like walk into an office and be like, "Hey, I had problems with like all these people. Would they even like want to bring you back?" Like, I don't know. I'd question how much they would trust me if I like brought up way too many issues.
I mean, if a sub had like problems with every single kid in the class, they like I would guarantee the office would consult me and be like, "Hey, is this class difficult or is this sub just not very good?"
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, if a sub has an issue with one of my classes, it was a class I left a lot of notes about who to watch out for, and I don't ever blame the sub. Like, it's shitty, and like most of the time, my kids are pretty well behaved, but there's a couple classes that have like too many dickheads in them, so that throws off the whole vibe, especially if they're there. Which like dickhead kids are usually never absent.
I've changed my mind on subs. Thanks, Mitty.
Subs are people too.
Subs are people too.
TIL.
I think we're all just products of the environment we grew up in. And to say that we wouldn't be the same shitheads with the internet and the technology that kids have today if we were just now going through school, I think we'd be bullshitting ourselves.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
agree.
like I have
True.
lunch duty, and like I don't hear all the conversations, but I can read lips well enough to know like what some of these kids are fucking saying, and they're swearing too. Like they talk like sailors, and like if I'm far away, I'm not gonna like go up to them and be like, "Hey, I saw you say this." Like I just let it go because it's like, what is me saying not to say swears in lunch gonna do? Like literally nothing. I could write them up for, but that's just
Right.
paperwork for something stupid and minor. Like if a kid like accidentally swears in my class, even if it's the F word, I will say like, "Hey, watch your language," and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because then usually they'll be like, "Sorry, Mr. Smitty," but whatever.
Yeah, I maybe should have not let it go down too far on the swearing route, because they just like the kids just kind of like talked like assholes to each other, and they were like, they seemed like they're friends or something. They're playing, but they're just kind of being dicks.
We see a lot of that too. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You satisfied?
Extremely satisfied. More satisfied than I've ever been.
Hell yeah. Boys, I want to segue into my question here for the afternoon since we briefly talked over the subject of music, and I think I would love to talk about some music with you guys, possibly give the listeners our own recommendations here. So this question is entirely based on your opinions. But if you had to pick 3, 4, even 2, just like however many you could think of, albums by any artist that start to finish to you are just a perfect 10 out of 10, what do you guys have on that list? And I'll give a couple of my examples first. I know we all have various tastes in music, so I'm excited to hear what all you guys have to say and listen to all of these hopefully sometime after the show. But the couple that came to mind for myself is, and I know this is sometimes a little bit made fun of for Radiohead fans, and I'm not a huge Radiohead fan. I want to make that perfectly clear. But their album OK Computer is one of my 10 out of 10s.
It's a good album.
It's
a solid
a
album.
fantastic album, and outside of that album, I have like maybe 6 or 7 of their other songs. So I'm really not like a huge Radiohead fan, and I know their fandom can be really toxic and annoying in their own right. But to me, that is definitely a 10 out of 10. It's really beautiful. It's really creepy. And the other one that came to mind for myself, and I have a few, but I'll pass the baton after this one, is Smashing Pumpkins' album Siamese Dream, which is also, to me, start to finish, just not a single bad song if you're looking for like that kind of grungy, shoegazy
It's a
kind
good
of
album.
sound. So I would highly recommend both of those to you boys. What do you guys have?
The two of mine that come to mind are very nostalgic for me, so they're like pretty old tastes that I had in music. and I can really only think of one of them that I like start to finish. I like a lot of albums that I might not really care for one song too much. But the one album that I thought of, like at least when I was much younger, that was a 10 out of 10 start to finish, was Green Day's American Idiot. The first time I heard that, I was like, this is fucking awesome. And that was kind of like my, I don't know, I was kind of sheltered with some of our music tastes. So that was like kind of like a punk alternative rock awakening for me. That got me into a lot of other stuff, but I still like that album start to finish. It's pretty damn good.
I agree. That one's pretty solid.
Second one that I remember from when I was a kid was a Smash Mouth album called Get the Picture. There was like one song on there that I didn't like, and my mom bought it for me on accident because I wanted the one with All Star, because who didn't at that age? But that has some, I know that they're kind of a meme or whatever, but that has some like actually like really nice and one song that's still one of my favorites. And as an adult, I'd probably say Babylon by Skiba and the Secrets. Start to finish, that's a 10 out of 10 for me as well.
Solid recommendations, my dude.
For sure.
Rico, Smitty?
I've got 4 actually. Rico, unless you want to go first, Rico, it's up to you.
Go for it.
All right. The first one I've got is Wu-Tang's debut album 36 Chambers, which is, I've not listened to. That's the only album by them I can listen to back to front. Like every single one of the songs is on there is a banger. It's so fucking good. Like they came out of nowhere with just an immediate banger of an album. Yeah, it's just fucking awesome. And like beyond that, this is like kind of slightly under it is Liquid Swords by Jizza. That's a like kind of a break off. It fucking rocks too. It's not a 10 out of 10 in my mind, but 36 Chambers is. The other one, which we're gonna take a complete left turn, is Whipped Cream and Other Delights by fucking Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. And I'm gonna upload to our chat what the album cover looks like, because it is a horny ass album.
Ooh.
And I mean that in a pun way, because it's brass, but also like the songs are very sensual and extremely horny. So it doesn't have Spanish Flea on there, unfortunately, but it's pretty much bangers front to back. That's like my go-to high album.
Nice.
Let's see. Another left turn, fucking The Money Store by Death Grips, which I don't know if anybody, do you guys listen to Death Grips? Probably not.
Mm-mm.
It's very like experimental, sort of like hip hop rap sort of stuff. It's like it's got like an industrial raw sound. It's very gross sounding to people who are not into it, but I like it. It's a good ass album. And then the last one is a very recent one by a band called All Them Witches, Sleeping Through the War.
I love that band.
Really?
Yes, I love All Them Witches.
Oh, fucking A. Like, Sleeping Through the War has been my go-to album recently. It's just, like, back to front. It's so good. But, anyhow, that's more like stoner rock. I have, like, a nice little collection of different shit on my list, but there you go.
Nice.
Rico, what's your recommendations?
So 2 from Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly. Amazing rap albums. Most people would probably say they're like top 10 rap albums of all time. Jid just came out with an album that I think is a top 10. He's also a rapper. It's called Forever Story, The Forever Story. Not rap, but Avenged Sevenfold, Waking the Fallen. That was like, I listened to that nonstop when I was younger. It still holds up. Listened to it recently, and I was like, yeah, I remember why I listened to this so much back in the day.
Nice.
And let's see, I guess two more. Mad Villainy is it's a rap duo, but MF Doom is the rapper. He's like an underground rapper. Everybody says what they say, he's like every rapper's favorite rapper or something. I don't know.
His album Food is really fucking
Food
good.
is really fucking good too.
Yeah.
Listen to Mad Villainy if you haven't. It's incredible. Just his like flows are second to none, pretty much.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
I honestly, like, when I found out he was dead, like within the last, I don't know, like 2 years or so, like,
very recent, yeah.
yeah, it's really unfortunate because he was insanely talented.
They've actually had like posthumous features of his that his like estate has like kind of let
Oh, nice.
happen. And they're most of them that I've heard, I guess, are pretty good. I had one more. It's kind of like a tie, I guess. Mac Miller, Circles and Faces. I really like a lot. So a lot of rap.
Yeah, man.
I love me a good live
Um,
album too. And usually like some of them again have like one or two songs that may not like sit super well, but again, this band is kind of memed nowadays. But A Day to Remember, they did a live album live at the Audio Compound. It's like it was acoustic mostly, fucking awesome start to finish. There's only like 6 songs, but they were all like so beautifully done. I'd like to throw that one in there for me as well.
Oh, one other one I just thought of. Neutral Milk Hotel in the Aeroplane Over the Sea. That's like
That
super
is-
memed, but
That is a
fucking love that
fantastic
album.
album, though. That's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have like a band that you really enjoy, but there are 0 albums you can listen to back to front?
Nope.
It's an interesting question, Smitty.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I've
gonna be
got
tough
one
for me
right
to
off
think
the
about.
bat, and it's sad, but like I really like the band Clutch, another like stoner rock band, but I can't listen to any of their albums all the way through because they've got some songs that are just not very good, like interspersed with like absolute kick-ass songs,
Yeah.
which is a shame. Like they can't, they're super good, but they can't put together a solid album for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think
I'll say one that comes to mind for me, Smitty, is the band The Decemberists. They're kind of like a folk band,
Mhm.
and they have a lot of really, really good songs. But there's been times where I listen through to albums and I realize why I only navigate kind of navigate to those songs is because they kind of like lean too much into the folkness where they're singing about things that are just like not applicable to anyone's life, and the lyrics can be a little bit cringy.
Mhm.
And I have a hard time listening to them, so I'll only navigate to the songs that I know.
Gotcha. That's fair.
I think part of that is in like you'd have to look at how they record their albums too, because some bands will like kind of bring about like their ideas and practice and whatever, and then structure a song and then record it. And some artists will go to a recording studio and like just lock themselves in and write stuff like start to finish.
Mhm.
I'm sure if you put me in a studio and said, hey, within like 2 months I need you to write 11 songs, there's going to be a lot of shitty ones, like a lot of
For
let's
sure.
just get it done. So I feel like if they're allowed to have a little bit more time, if they kind of like let it if they write it a little bit more naturally, I feel like you get a much better presentation.
Mm.
I'll throw in 2 more 10 out of 10s for my side here. One of them is Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds.
Fucking
Their
love
album Chasing Yesterday is really good. Noel Gallagher is the lead
Is he from
guitarist
Oasis?
brother of Oasis. He's the one with not the guy who sang.
Oh, gotcha.
So he was the other brother. He was the lead guitarist. He started his own band, and Chasing Yesterday is, to me, just like a very modern take on like a David Bowie album. It's very, very well done, and I enjoy the hell out of it start to finish. And then my other 10 out of 10 recommendation is going to be Beastie Boys' album License to Ill,
Hell
which is
yeah.
my contribution to my hip hop recommendations for you all.
I'm going through the Beastie Boys discography as we speak.
License
And
to
I just
Ill
listened to
is
that, like,
fucking phenomenal.
A few days ago.
I've
heard
it's
it
good.
a million times before, but
Rico, are you a person who has to like once you find a band, you have to like listen to their entire discography?
I do that.
no,
Okay.
not well, sometimes I guess. But there was I don't know, there's a thread on Reddit like maybe a few weeks ago, and someone asked like, are the Beastie Boys actually a good like hip hop group? And everybody was like, dude, they're like one of the best of all time, basically. Like other rap groups look to them as like their inspiration, basically. And like they contributed a lot to like hip hop. I really
think they're-
didn't realize that.
I think they're really
honestly.
corny, but like,
Yeah.
like I
They
think they
are.
know that they're corny.
Yeah. Like what this is actually really weird. When I was shitting at like 6 a.m. because I had just listened to License to Ill, Paul Revere was running through my head and I could not fucking get it out because it's such a catchy, like you can like basically sing it from front to back.
God damn.
And I could not fucking stop. I was like, oh my God, I need to fucking stop. My legs are going numb. I'm like, this is the only thing keeping me alive, but it's like killing me at this point
I
at
feel
the
like
same time.
I feel like our generation kind of grew up in like the weirdest like period for music and listening to full albums, because obviously when we were younger, like CDs were the biggest thing, and you kind of had to listen to the full album at that point, and then iPods made their resurgence, so then that's like when everybody's just picking apart the one song that they liked rather than buying the full album. And now that things like Spotify are out, it's making it much easier to do those deep dives and listen to those deep cuts that you would have skipped over and stuff. I feel like that's partially the reason why I don't have too many that I think are just 10 out of 10, because I wasn't really forced to listen to too many when we were younger, start to finish.
This really makes me want to get like a group playlist going, but I don't think
I would
everybody's the
fucking
same
love
as
that.
streaming
I'd be
service.
down with that. I'd like to open up my music taste a little bit. I don't really listen to hip
I
hop
would
or anything.
love to start an Acolytes shared Spotify playlist with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't use Spotify though.
Damn it, Rico.
You piece of
Sucks,
shit,
suck,
man.
bro.
Come on.
Android
I know.
user, and you don't use Spotify. What do you use?
I don't.
Use
I
Apple
YouTube
Music?
Last FM.
YouTube Music.
I was like,
YouTube
what the
Music?
fuck?
Yeah, man.
Not even
It's actually
Apple or
pretty good.
Amazon. You fucking use YouTube.
He's got an Android.
Why
He's
would
not
you
going to
use
use
Amazon?
Apple Music.
No. I get that,
That's a
and
fair
then-
point.
Yeah, and then you get like adless YouTube and shit. It's pretty great.
Or you could
Yeah,
just
I get adless
Spotify
YouTube too,
Premium.
bro. Fucking put on an ad block.
Well, I do that too, but it like supports them and stuff. I don't know.
I love
Nice
Spotify.
benefit to it. I
you're not
don't like their
getting-
UI.
you're not getting my
so I
playlist,
went
you
with YouTube
motherfucker.
Music.
Hmm?
What's that?
What?
What'd you say?
All I heard was you motherfucker.
I'm satisfied. I'm gonna listen back to this episode, and I'll have to listen to some of your boys' recommendations because I'm always in the market for some new tunes.
Hell yeah. Mitchell,
With
break?
that said, it's time for our mid-show segment. This week's segment is brought to you by Scott.
Here at the Important Questions podcast, we take our stupid ass thoughts and opinions and put them on trial.
Ew. So we're going to do a game I'm going to call On Trial, where I'm going to take a few opinions, something small. Nothing like Coke versus Pepsi, just simple things. We're going to put these on trial. We're going to kind of debate which one might be better, or if like my thought process is correct, or whoever is presenting the topic. It's going to be really short. We go from there. First thing that we're going to put on trial. Personally, I'd rather be sticky than itchy.
I disagree heavily.
Yeah.
I disagree as well.
Where are you? All over itchy, all over sticky.
I guess I didn't really put that much thought into that, because whenever I think of itchy, I think either all over or just my legs for some reason. Like if you get really bad mosquito bites by your ankles, and then sticky, I always think fingers.
I can't do that. I can't do any sticky. That's the one texture I'm just like not. I can't stomach it at all.
Okay.
I will say there's definitely ways to alleviate itch though too. Like you just like get into like a hot bath, and that kind of helps alleviate itch.
Itch. I've had an itch that's like driven me so crazy, like you want to cry, because sometimes you just can't get over that stimulus. It's like, no, you have to itch it. And if your hands are sticky, you don't have to keep fucking touching things. You just sit there with sticky hands until you can take care of it.
If you're like, also when you're itchy though, like this is not a plus, but I don't know why there'd be any pluses to being itchy. That's fucking stupid. But when you like scratch an itch, if it keeps itching, you want to keep scratching it, and then therefore like inflaming the skin,
Yep.
making it worse.
Yep.
but
I think
I
I'm
still
gonna
prefer
side
that
with
to being sticky.
I think I'm gonna side with Smitty and Rico. I think I'd rather be itchy.
Okay. All right.
I like the I don't know, like scratching an itch just feels good, so you get kind of like a nice side benefit to it.
it does,
That's
but if
true.
it,
There is no resolution to sticky. You
Yeah,
can't
but
scratch the stick.
if it
Yeah,
doesn't
and
go
imagine
away
getting sap on your hands or something,
and it's just
Yeah,
continuously itchy, I don't know. For me, it's enraging.
Get a nice industrial oil-based paint on your hands.
your balls
you-
are sticking to your leg. Sorry, go ahead.
Jesus.
I didn't know that you were.
No,
Sorry.
you're good. My next one, another nice quick one, is I'd rather be cold than hot.
I agree.
Yes,
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
you
you
can
can
always
always
put on
put
more
on-
layers.
Hey, yeah, I was
Yep.
gonna say you
See-
you can only take so much
Hey.
off.
It's easier to warm up.
Did our
Yep.
dads beat that into us when we were kids too?
No,
Because
my,
growing up in the
shorts.
Midwest, and the summers are brutal, but the winters are brutal too.
Yo,
Gotta pick a
I will
favorite.
I will say the one thing that my dad and I differ heavily on. We keep the house right now in the middle of winter. It's fairly cool during the day, but like we bundle up and shit.
Mhm.
I don't deal with that shit in the summer. And I know my dad was a stickler when it came to the thermostat in the summertime. I don't fucking care if I have a $250 electric bill every single month in the summer. I'm keeping my house cold.
yep. Don't make me sweat.
I don't fucking like that
72.
shit.
Especially
I
at
do not
night.
like that shit.
71,
Yeah,
72 in the summer.
My dad was definitely a stickler about that, but with both directions, he didn't want to turn the air conditioning on unless he really had to, and he didn't want to turn the heat on unless he really had to.
Yeah.
My dad in the summer, so he like cuts like trees up and stuff that fall down and stuff like that, and he has a wood burning stove in his house, and he, to the best of his ability, will not turn on the heat in the winter, but he gets this wood burning stove in the living room so goddamn hot it's like 90 degrees in the living room, and it's cold everywhere else in the house.
Yeah.
That's
So you get in there and the place that you want to be is disgusting and you're sweating. It's the worst. Everybody gives him shit for it, but he's like, he probably has like no bill to speak of really for most of the winter months.
No joke
I
though.
respect that.
If
That's
you can
cool.
balance it, a wood burning stove is so fucking awesome.
Yeah. for
God,
sure.
You
I
definitely
love
need
the
like
smell.
a couple fans in there to like blow that heat around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is with dads and thermostats, and just like that whole trope. Did your dads do the thing where like they open like a window in the front of the house and then the back of the house, and then they tell you about this mystical thing called a cross breeze, which I've never felt in my
Yes.
fucking goddamn life.
It
It's like
only
you
works
get
if you
get
put
like
a
an
fan
80
in both windows.
Yeah, you get like an 87-degree cross breeze. It still feels like 87 degrees.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
will
fucking
say,
good.
I will say, like, opening one window at the back and one at the front isn't enough. But if you open up your windows and have like an attic fan, that does help quite a bit. They're just loud as goddamn shit.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
That they are.
Yeah, I had one in my house there in Illinois, and a couple of my family members have them.
When my
Hot
wife and I
take,
were living
Cross
with my
breeze
folks,
doesn't exist.
we were living in an upstairs room, and the air conditioning did not reach up there,
Oof.
at least not very well. So we had one fan in one window blowing air in, and then another fan blowing air out. So we would get like the different pressure coming in and out. So we would get a bit of a cross breeze.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Thank you for putting those thoughts on trial for me, boys.
You are welcome.
Scott, while you have the floor, why don't you give us your question?
Yeah, mine as well. I would like to know if you can have an extra organ or appendage, but there's only a 50-50 chance that it would be functional, what would you pick?
What does functional mean?
So let's say if you decided to have an extra thumb,
Mhm.
50-50 chance it either works or it's just going to dangle there with like no control over it. It's just a hanging thing.
So if I get a boob,
I
it
guess
not
that's
functioning
true.
means no milk will come out or something?
Uh,
true. What?
yeah, that's a
what
good
would a
one.
non-functioning boob
I don't
be?
know.
I'll take a boob.
I don't know why I didn't assume somebody would
Hell
say
yeah,
boob.
Rico! I would do a boob too.
Non-functioning properly, so
Yeah.
it would lactate on
Yeah.
you.
Fine.
Even better. I'll take a boob.
I
don't-
like milk.
I don't know why I just assumed nobody was going to say boob. God, I was spoiled on the first fucking. I'm
Rico's
satisfied.
Like, right on demand. You laying on your back, squirting milk into the air, arcing it into your mouth.
All right, but okay, but so if you
Back
stick
up
with
against
that,
a wall,
if you
like-
stick with that and it's not
There you
functional,
go.
and like you go to like a job interview or like a really nice place and you just start fucking leaking everywhere.
Flip my coin, Dad.
All right, let's do it. Heads functional, tails dysfunctional.
Okay.
That's heads. You got a functional
Perfect.
boob there, bud.
Perfect boob.
Yeah, dude. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, man.
Now we just
Oh,
have to let
man.
you throw a dart at where the boob's going to grow from because it's not going to be center of your chest. Get a boob
Doesn't
growing on, like
matter.
your right
I'm
thigh
fine
or
with
something.
wherever. On one of my ass cheeks.
Smitty, what do you got?
Give me a.
Boob.
I'll also have a boob, please. No. I don't fucking know. Let's go. Can I have like an extra lung, maybe?
Okay. Extra
Yeah.
lung.
Yeah.
All right. Heads functional, tails dysfunctional.
Wait, but before you do, Scott, before you do,
Oh, God. I'm not looking.
okay, but you have it in place.
Yes.
What's the downside? Because we already said a non-functional boob just leaks everywhere. If Smitty has a non-functional lung, what does that mean?
Well, I'm gonna expand my chest cavity, so therefore, like, I just have a dead organ inside my chest.
Maybe you have like a lot
Which
of
is
bronchitis or COPD just in that lung.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. This one's tails, bud.
Damn,
Ooh,
I got a
you're
dead
fucked.
organ inside me. I'm fucked. Gotta pay $600 million to get it removed from my body.
How much would it suck if you couldn't exhale completely or like inhale completely because there's that other thing just taking up all that room?
Oh fuck! I would feel so claustrophobic.
Yeah. You might
Mhm.
like just having that I guess quote unquote dead space there with that taking up space, that actually might be a lot more harmful, especially with the lungs. There's some people that depending on like their hydration status and stuff, the depth of one of their breaths could actually tank their blood pressure super quick.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's an interesting dynamic. A lot of
That is the exact reason why I went with boob.
Something external. That was smart.
something
Should have
that
said an
also
extra leg or something.
Dave, what are you thinking?
I'm kind of thinking ear. Like if I had like a third ear, just like center back of the head, give myself that perfect 360 degree.
You got an ear in the front of your head too?
Yeah.
No, just one in the back.
Okay. All right.
A perfect 200.
Because I mean, like your ears are already kind of like arced a little bit towards the front, right? So like you pick in more sound from the
Yeah.
front.
That's true.
I think an ear in the back would be nice.
Okay.
It'd be
Heads
a right ear or a
functional.
left ear.
It'd be a center ear.
It's just a hole.
Yeah.
I was thinking it'd be
What
like
about a top ear?
a top ear.
Listen for predators coming from above.
In case you got a giant fucking hawk coming after
It
Yeah.
would just look. It would look like a one Mickey Mouse ear on the back of my head.
you. All right. Heads functional, tails dysfunctional. Oh fuck. I'm gonna flip it again.
Okay, it's only fair.
That's heads. You got a functional ear back there.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Maybe it'd look like a meat funnel. Like if you look like inside the funnel where it's like wide at the top, you just have that on the back of your head. Because then it can get everything from all sides back there.
Then
Okay.
you'd have to buy like the weirdest like headphones. You'd have to like cancel that one out because if you had your regular headphones on, you'd be picking up so much external noise. You'd be like, "Fuck, I can't hear my song."
And Scott, you got to answer your own question too.
I will, but
Yeah.
can I make one more point about your ear thing?
Of course.
Going to a concert would suck, dude, because you just hear nothing but the people that stand behind you singing poorly.
Oh God.
Put an
I could just put an earplug in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The back one.
Problem solved.
God, boob
Wear
was
an
such a good
earmuff.
one. Damn it.
Not earmuffs.
I think I'm gonna go with an extra thumb. Like I said, I think that would actually be pretty cool if it
Where would it
worked.
be?
Left
Uh,
thumb or right thumb?
Let's go right, I guess.
Okay.
That lack of symmetry would make me upset.
Yeah.
And I'd probably just like either get an implant or have to cut one off.
Oh, that's heads, so I got a functional second thumb. So I could probably just
Gonna
hold
live
my
in your
smartphone
prostate?
easier. That's probably all I'd do with it.
You would have a stronger grip for sure.
Yeah, I'd probably be better at computer
Would you-
games if
would
I
you
just
get it
figured
like on the opposite side of your palm from your thumb, or just put them in line on one side of your hand?
I don't know. That'd be weird. I'm like
I
staring at
feel
my
like
hand trying to-
I would almost want to go opposite
Yeah.
because you must have like a full claw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
get
think
some pretty good grip.
yeah, it'd be pretty solid. Like I said, if you could like orient, or if I did that on my left hand, I could probably play like computer games like really super well, or I'd be a kick-ass guitarist with an extra thumb.
There was a
yeah.
blues musician like a long time ago who had like an extra pinky, and he would put the slide on that pinky when he played blues.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I think that it would have been funnier if we went with like bigger appendages too, like a leg. But that would kind of suck if you just had to drag one around all the time. Just
Nothing's funnier than boob.
yeah, no, boob.
Boob is pretty
We
fucking
peaked
funny.
early.
Boob
Yeah.
boob was funny.
That was a very quick question, and I'm actually really satisfied from it. So
Nice.
Smitty, what you got this fine evening?
All
And
right, so
if you
my-
can make it fast, that'd be great because I have to take my 7th shit.
Oh my god. Do you want to just take a break for a second?
No, I want to finish recording.
Okay, fair.
I'm not gonna
my-
I'm not gonna rush us. I'm just making a joke, but I do have to make my 7th shit after
You're
this show.
keegling it back for me. I
I
appreciate that.
am.
My question is there any topic that you are like an elitist or a gatekeeper about?
I'm the opposite of that.
Okay.
So there's something I'm very passionate about, and that's people that gatekeep food and recipes. And I gatekeep those motherfuckers that gatekeep the people that just want to get into it. So like, for example, there's always a group of people out there. If you ever watch anyone in the world on YouTube, I'm certain TikTok's the same way, or Instagram or whatever. Like if someone posts a recipe of, say, like a carbonara, and they have the audacity to throw in like some peas, all of the motherfucking comments that are going to come in are going to say, you know, that's not actually carbonara.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, motherfucker. So what is it? So you tell me what it is. What would you call it? What the fuck would you fucking call it? It's like, do you like noodles that are custardy with egg yolks and some cheese? Yeah. Do you want some vegetables? Yeah. If you put them on a plate and then put the peas next to it, would you call it carbonara? Yeah. Well, what if you fucking like mixed it up on the plate a little bit and some peas accidentally touched the noodles? Then what the fuck do you fucking call it?
Yeah.
You know? It's people like that are just like, how dare you call this Tuscan chicken? How the fuck is it Tuscan? It's like, I don't know. It's got a fucking tomato on it.
Why don't you go to
Call it-
fucking
call it whatever the
Tuscany
fuck
and
you
leave us
want.
alone?
Yeah. Who fucking gives a shit?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Chicken was
I'm
raised in the hills of Tuscany.
it's like it's shit like that, man. It pisses me the fuck off where anyone like gatekeeps a food recipe and says that there is no like leeway off that recipe in any way, shape, or form. It's like,
Right.
yeah, motherfucker, you can't serve me a piece of pizza and call it carbonara. But if you want a fucking green onion in your goddamn pasta, you do fucking you. Because
And
they
it-
both taste good, so when you put them together, they're gonna taste good together.
And it's not like traditional dishes don't have regional variety.
Right.
Like, are you going to tell me that every single place makes Tuscan chicken the exact same fucking way?
I can assure you that every place that has a Western cheeseburger is made the exact same way.
That
Oh,
I
with bar-
believe.
Barbecue sauce and an onion ring and they call it Western.
Yeah, baby.
Mhm.
Or it's just like those motherfuckers that are out there that are just like, you put beans in your goddamn chili? What the goddamn fuck? It's like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares?
Beans
It's a
are
big
good.
pot.
Fuck you.
It's spicy tomatoes and meat, and also beans are good. So you put them together. Holy shit! It's gonna be good. It's gonna taste good. What the fuck are you gonna call it? Again, ask those motherfuckers. Beans don't belong in chili. Then what the fuck do you call it when I put beans in chili? You call it chili with beans. Okay, so it's fucking chili. All those fuckers can fuck themselves. That's where I'm an elitist.
Yeah.
An
I get that.
anti gatekeeping elitist. That's what I am.
I don't know if I would necessarily
Follow that, boys.
say I gatekeep.
I'm not that passionate about anything.
Yeah, I don't think I gatekeep,
Not
but,
even your own son.
but I appreciate some things in a lot more depth than some people do. So like Star Wars, for example. That's something I'm a huge nerd about. And when I hear somebody be like, "Oh, I don't like the way that they did this. This is kind of like a stupid character choice," and it's like on the inside, I'm like, "Well, you're entitled to your opinion, but also like, this is a character that like you just saw in this show for the first time, but they've been like in existence for like fucking years. Like, do a little bit of research to know that that's why that person like acted that way." But I'm not gonna sit there and be like, "You're not an actual Star Wars fan if you like this or if you don't like this." It's just like, no, just let people appreciate it a little bit more. I don't know.
I get like I mostly agree with what you said, Dave. Like for the most part, like I don't want to gatekeep anything because like most gatekeepers are just like, I want this thing to be like our little secret club and I'm part of it and I'm special. But like,
Mhm.
you know, that club can only get so big now. And what if people start leaving the club? What are you gonna do? You know? So it's always good to like introduce new blood into stuff. As far as like gatekeeping stuff, like I get kind of like gatekeepy about movies, but only because like a lot of like, and I know Scott, you are not like this, so this does not apply to you. There are lots of Marvel and superhero fans who are like super into like constantly talking up superhero movies as being better than like very like universal classic cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of fucking annoys me, and I think that's stupid. But I think that's mostly just because I dislike like a willfully ignorant and like dedicated fan base when you're really just, you know, waving a flag for a fucking billion-dollar corporation. Like, you know, you're just kind of dumb.
If it's
When you know they probably haven't seen the other movie anyway. that they're
Right. Like
comparing
you're going
to.
to tell me that like Ant-Man and the Wasp is better than Taxi Driver? Like, okay, man.
yeah,
Did you see Taxi Driver?
there are some Marvel movies that I will defend because I think they did a fantastic job. The number of them I will defend is dropping exponentially right now. Like I did see the new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie and it's just meh. Like if people love it, that's cool. I'm sure some kids like, I'm sure that'll be like the focal point of their love for cinema when the, you know, but it's not for me. I don't think everything's perfect. Or like same thing with like the Star Wars, that like you've got the people that hated the prequels and then you've got the people that hated the sequels. It's like, it's whatever, man. Just like what you like and don't like what you don't like and shut the fuck up about it because I don't give a shit.
Right. Like my thing is though, like Marvel fans who are just like, this is better. Like our movies are better than your movies.
Yeah.
Solely because I like these more.
Right.
You know, like that's dumb. Like you don't really, a lot of these people don't really know anything about movies or making movies or like what any people on the crew actually do. Like ask one of these people what a fucking screenwriter does
Right.
versus a director versus a cinematographer. They're not going to fucking know. Like,
Yeah.
and like most mainstream people don't either, but like, you know, it's like these people claim to love movies, but they only love one subsection of movies as opposed, and it's like a very limited, narrow subsection of films, you know.
Scott, you mentioned there are a handful of Marvel movies that you would defend as good cinema.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, what are the best? What's the best Marvel has to offer right now?
First Iron Man movie by far and above. I remember seeing that in, God, I think we were in like 6th grade or something. And I just remember I don't know. I thought it was awesome the way that they did it, but it was also kind of first in that real formula. So that probably could be part of why.
I'll defend Iron Man as cinema solely because they weren't just choking the life out of a movie with CGI.
Yeah. I also think like Captain America 2 and 3 were done super well. I'm sure there's a couple other ones that aren't coming to mind, but I just thought like some of the writing was excellent and the character development. I mean, I hate when you have a character who's perfect. I can't fucking stand them, which usually I don't like Captain America for that reason. But when you see a little bit of character development, and it doesn't even have to be much, but I don't know. There's a couple examples, but they, like I said, the amount of those that I dislike are becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah, just turning that crank, making money.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like it's a very like movies are such a cynical thing right now.
I'm
And,
gonna
like, eh,
I'm gonna hit you boys with a question preview for an episode to come, but it's on my list. I'm going to ask eventually, what character or TV show would make for the worst entire cinematic universe? Just where they're cranking a machine and trying to make like a million movies out of one particular universe or one particular character.
got
But
some good
I
hints
definitely
to
get that. I definitely get that for a lot of series now, Smitty and Scott. I'm having a hard ass time seeing Star Wars go down the same path that Marvel's going down because I legitimately was a giant Star Wars fan growing up.
Mhm.
And I know it's just getting to the point now because Disney owns it where they're cranking out content and there's going to be a million different storylines. And if I don't follow one, I'm just going to lose all of it.
Yeah.
And just even though it's not quite there yet, it's just exhausting knowing the direction they're going to take it.
I agree, and I think we're not far from that. I guess it's just based on like some of the upcoming projects I'm like super excited about, and then when they start to diversify, and get to like an area like, I guess like the time frame that the sequel movies was in, like there's not a whole lot of media out there about it because everybody's so focused on like the Skywalker era or whatever, and even like before that with some of the High Republic stuff, I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I really like the stuff that we're in now, and seeing creators like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and damn it, I'm misremembering the name of the guy who directed and wrote Andor. But I just think that they do a really good job of storytelling and weaving it in and not making it insulting.
I gotcha. I have noticed that there have been a lot of like mainstream movies that are like not good quality and the dialogue sucks ass because it's just going to make it easier to understand for a foreign audience. So that it doesn't
Interesting.
take much effort to translate.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Rico, I'm curious what you're a gatekeeper of, if
I don't really
anything.
think I gatekeep anything. The first thing that I thought of with like elitism was coffee, but I don't think like because I use espresso at home.
I think you're
What's
a
up?
little coffee elitist.
You think so?
I think so.
Um,
In a good way. You're not a snob about it, but
No.
you're definitely
You're passionate.
I mean,
yeah. You
yeah,
got
I'd
the
say I'm
passion.
passionate, not like elitist. Like I have a really nice espresso machine, but I don't think like other forms of making coffee are bad or necessarily inferior. I just like espresso and think it's like versatile. I can make my wife a latte and myself like just a plain black coffee super quickly, and it tastes good and it's strong and whatever. And then I can, more versatile than that, not just two different kinds of making coffee, but very versatile, guys.
Mhm.
But
It could do coffee or
um,
Americanos.
yeah, it's great.
You did. You did
but I
turn
still
me.
have.
I'm sorry.
No, good.
You did turn me on to being a little bit more advanced with my coffee drinking, I guess.
Same.
Because I was just a Keurig guy, and then when you started talking about getting a kettle and grinding beans and stuff, I was like, maybe I will give that shit a try. And I remember you brought over the whole setup to our old studio and made us really good coffee. That changed me, and then I changed back because now I'm just fucking lazy.
Rico, you
I
were the
cannot power
sole
that.
reason I own a milk frother.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
That is 100% because of you.
I'm
That was
pretty-
your influence.
I'm pretty sure the day that you came over with all that stuff, I bought that shit on Amazon.
You
Yeah,
made us some really good fucking coffee.
Yeah,
man.
you did. You
Yeah,
turned
and
me on the
sent
Two
You
Brothers.
sent
Thanks, boys.
the link to that like coffee of the month club sort of thing.
It's like
Trade?
a subscription for beans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
subscription
trade.
service. I've gotten all the coffee I bought from there has been pretty top notch. I've never bought like artisanal coffee beans before, but
Mhm.
and I don't even know if you could quantify them as that, but it's higher quality than the shit that you can get in the store.
Oh, it's like way
I
better.
just and this totally isn't an ad for Trade, but I was rocking Trade for a while too, and I enjoyed it a lot, and just like giving like those small roasters kind of the spotlight instead of like
Mhm.
Starbucks and all those other places.
Yeah.
Like you'd get like the bag of coffee and be like, oh, this was roasted by like this dude in San Diego. Like, oh, that's pretty fucking sweet.
Right.
So yeah, I rocked that for a while and enjoyed the shit out of it. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I guess like people have asked me for advice on like machines, like espresso machines to buy, but then they have a budget that's like really low, and it's very hard to get into like espresso if you don't have like a decent budget, because they just like the lower end ones just don't like do a good job. So it's kind of hard for me, I guess. Like I don't know if that's elitist, but it's like hard for me to recommend something at that price point, you know, because like I'd feel bad if it didn't work well, I guess.
For sure.
And like I can't confidently say that it will, because it probably won't. I don't know if that is elitist. I don't think it is really. It's just kind of like the nature of the
it's
I mean,
elitist because
way of
you wouldn't be
making
caught
coffee.
dead with that piece of trash in your house.
Exactly.
I mean, the
I stopped
espresso
talking now.
machine, the espresso machine I have in my
Forgot.
kitchen, like I've got like we're a Mr. Coffee family apparently, so I've got like the old like drip coffee maker that was in every single household in the 90s, and then also I've got like their like low end espresso machine, which is it's not like high quality, but you can get decent coffee out of it.
Mm.
Like you can only make like one shot of espresso at a time, but you know it. I mean I could upgrade, but like I'm happy with it enough. I don't think that it would change any if I got like a nicer machine or change enough that I would notice.
Dave, I think you've made me an elitist with like audio quality and I guess the things that we perceive when we start to listen back to some of this, like not only when I'm editing, but like if I pull up somebody else's podcast and something just sounds like there's mic stand bumps or people are talking over each other or it's just like a bad mix, I instantly get like insulted. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like, why would you not put time into this?
I agree. And I'm with you 100%. I am also a podcast quality gatekeeper. There's so many shows out there, and power to them. They have a fan base. They're obviously doing something right, but I have such a hard time listening to a show that sounds like three guys that are all just sitting around a phone. Like they're just sitting around a phone in the center that's picking up all their audio, and that's it. Or you have shows where two guys sound good and one guy sounds like he's just using his laptop's microphone from 2008. And it's very jarring. It's very, very jarring, and it's distracting to the point where I can't get over it. And yeah, that's why I'm such a stickler about it on this show. Not to say I'm the perfect audio engineer, but I'm damn close.
Bangs mic stand.
And humble too.
I'm so fucking close
So
and humble.
fucking good.
Yeah, but to be fair, like
He's
when
elitist about being
when I
humble.
edited that one episode, I think the episode itself was like maybe 58 minutes with all the stuff edited out. I think it took me almost 3 hours just to get like some of the just like the little things. And I know that we always like joked about that and stuff, but when you put a lot of work into it, it's like, God damn, like it makes a huge difference.
It really does.
I was gonna say, unrelated, people who are like snobbish about or elitist or gatekeeping about steaks, where it's like which for the record, like if people want to eat a well done steak, that's their prerogative, and if they enjoy it, I mean that animal died for them to
Ketchup,
enjoy a
baby.
steak that I might not like. Because like a lot of people are like, an animal died for that, and you're gonna cook it that way, you're gonna put that condiment on it. It's like they're enjoying it. Who gives a shit, man? Like that animal didn't die in vain. Like it's fine. I mean, I think a well done steak is too dry for my tastes, but if somebody likes it, good for them. It's not going
Yeah.
to waste.
I mean, it also depends. I guess this kind of relates to mine too. It depends on the cut of steak. I think some of them are more forgiving as well done than others. Either way, it's not for me. But again, if you like what you like, who the fuck cares?
Right.
There's a lot of people out there just like a good steak. It's just salt, pepper, meat, and I agree. You can make a salt and pepper and just sear the steak, and it'll
Mhm.
be goddamn delicious.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like there's a lot of places that'll offer you like, oh, there's like this like blue cheese or like this béarnaise sauce that we could put on top, or we could top it with some caramelized onions, and they get like snobbish about it. And there's like,
Yeah.
good steak is
Just
salt
the
and pepper and steak and nothing else. And
Yeah.
it's just like, no, again, motherfucker, if this tastes good and that tastes good, odds are when you put that on top of this, it's still gonna be pretty goddamn good.
I'd call that a carbonara.
Some peas
And
on
you'd
that
be right,
steak.
motherfucker.
But yeah, like if you want to put ketchup on your fucking steak, I wouldn't do that. But if you enjoy a steak that way, go for it. Like there are a lot worse criticisms you can give to a person other than like you put this on a steak ?
It's not gonna taste bad. I mean, again, come the fuck on. Steak is
Yeah.
good. Ketchup is good. If you put
Right.
ketchup on your steak and you eat it, yeah, it's a little bit trashy, I guess, because steak is a little higher class than ketchup is. But come on, you're gonna tell me that it's gonna create this like clash of flavors that's gonna make you physically vomit or ill? It's like, no, it's gonna taste like a steak with ketchup. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it will make you trashy.
a little bit.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a little classist, Dave.
Quite elitist
Fucking
of you,
piece of
Dave.
shit.
No,
You eat a
it's like
steak this
any
way,
of
you're a
those
poor
fucking
fucker.
any of those cheap foods. My mom's like that, where she's just like, I
Trashy?
wouldn't eat that disgusting shit they serve at McDonald's. And it's just like, motherfucker. It's
Motherfucker.
it's a fast food burger. It's gonna taste good. It's meat and cheese on a bun. Again, fast food isn't high quality, but to say like, I wouldn't touch that. It's gonna taste fine. It's
I
gonna
will
taste
say-
fine.
I will say with McDonald's, if you go to a lot of other burger fast food places like Culver's or like fucking Steak and Shake, even I know I had that story previously, but like their food tastes like a burger. McDonald's burgers taste like McDonald's, and I
I
don't know if
agree.
I can fully articulate what I mean by that. Like
No, like
McDonald's
if you lined up, if you did a blind taste test, you would be able to identify the McDonald's burger across all the others.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, absolutely.
I would say
Easy.
the same for
Easily.
Burger King. Burger King's got a very distinct like taste
They
to
do
it with
I
their
don't have
fake
enough
charbroiled
Burger King,
thing.
so, yeah, but
They're
like,
all gonna taste fine.
yeah, but like McDonald's itself, like you go anywhere in the world, it's gonna taste exactly the same or probably something close.
I tested that once upon a time. When I was in college, I studied abroad, and I was out in Israel for a little bit, and I went to a McDonald's just to see if it tasted the same, and it really fucking does. It's kind of
That-
amazing
See, that's
that they're able to
I think that's
replicate that
fucked up.
all across
Like,
the world.
I don't like that.
It's
Like they might as well just have a paste machine in the back.
Yeah, it's that pink
every single
slime,
McDonald's
yeah.
gets. Yeah, the
Mhm.
pink slime. Like, I don't know. That bothers me. I mean, I'll still fucking eat McDonald's. I don't give a shit. But like,
Did they have Coke there?
I don't know. I just think I got a cheeseburger, which in of itself was, I guess like not good because apparently in Israel your dairy can't touch your meat or some shit. I don't fucking know what their rules are, but they looked at me like I was a piece of shit.
Trashy.
so judgmental.
Gatekeeping
I don't
your food
Like,
mixtures.
gatekeeping my cheeseburger, man. You satisfied?
Yeah, dog. I'm satisfied.
Okay, it's been a long episode. I'm glad you're satisfied, and I have to take my 7th poop.
Oh my god.
If you like what you
Good
hear,
luck.
if you like what you hear, leave us a review and a rating on your podcast directory of choice. Shows are typically brought up or down in recommendations based off algorithms. Algorithms are tailored towards interaction, and interaction comes from those reviews and those ratings. So we appreciate it. Even if you give us 1 star, I mean, that's an interaction, and we appreciate the shit out of that. If you have your own question or if you want to leave a voicemail or comment of your own, tell us whether you'd like to be itchy or sticky or something of the sort. You can leave us a text or a voicemail at 708-433-9153. Let us know your thoughts about stuff.
Engage with us, please. We need it.
We fucking need it. Social media, we have at ImpQuestionsPDC on Twitter. the Important Questions Podcast on Instagram, r/Important Questions Pod on Reddit for any post-show discussion. Hey, all that artwork that you love to see on Instagram, that's all your boy Smitty. Thanks,
Hell yeah.
Smitty.
I'm going to be making more too.
And if you want to support the show monetarily, and you get something out of it too, so don't click out just yet. Patreon.com/The Important Questions, and your donation of $1 per content creation, which will come out monthly, will get you access to our bonus episodes that those non-donors do not have access to. So if you want a little bit more of us,
You
a
want
little
to
bit more of the boys,
gatekeep?
it's a little gatekeepy, it's a little elitist.
Donate $1 and then make fun of those people that didn't donate $1 because you have the better content. More content. I'm sorry. Additional
More
content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Additional.
We save our best content
Yeah.
for those who pay.
Yeah. We're purposefully dialing it down
Mhm.
all the time.
I hate that
Yeah.
somebody out there that's listening is going, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. We cut
None-
out
none
all
of
the
my
funny
questions.
bits. So you have to pay $1 to get all the funny bits.
We
So
just censor things so you just hear us laughing.
I only
You
use
wanna
questions from the Met or less good list.
If you want to listen
Rico
to,
actually does have a good category. He just doesn't tell you about it.
if you would
I
like-
have one called decent and it's empty.
see, that joke was just bleeped. If you want the full joke with context, donate $1 to Patreon.
putting comedy behind a paywall. So instead of a funny podcast, it's just a slice of life podcast. Us talking about our lives and shit.
Would you rather be sticky or itchy? I don't know. Cool. The good jokes come in with the
Would you rather be
$1
sticky or
donation.
itchy? And then it just goes silent for like 25 minutes.
Better
If you
just
want to
hear us-
unlock our music recommendations.
Yeah. Oh God.
Boys, I
Give me
really
the
have to
first 10
recommend this album's a 10 out of 10. It's called Boo. And it's honestly, if you're into shoegaze, it's going to be one of your favorites too.
It's just nothing but us laughing all the time without context.
Yeah.
Just a shitty laugh track.
Holy shit, we need to do that once. I mean, and by we, I mean whoever edits the show.
Scott, you could have that one.
Okay, I probably could. I think at the end of the one that I edited, or at least maybe for a teaser, I like saved a couple clips of us laughing, meshed them together, and then like faded it out, and it sounded like it was pretty genuine. And it totally wasn't, but it sounded that way.
Mm.
Yeah, we could do that.
Good work.
I love the waveform of your boop. Sorry. Your
Yeah,
boop.
it was
It's pretty great.
it was just like a square.
The waveform of your single boob that you grew. Functional
Yeah.
boob.
It's a girthy waveform.
Any final thoughts, fellas?
Are people still listening? Besides
I
us?
fucking
Hi,
I
Scott.
fucking hope so.
I hope you're having a good day, buddy.
Go take your dump,
All right.
Dave.
Yeah.
Join us again next week. I'm gonna go fire up my
He's
7th
trash.
dump of the day. You guys don't need to be worried about me. We're not at quite the 10 poop mark yet. But if I survive this ordeal, then we hope you could join us again next week.
Hell yeah.
See ya.
Well, I'm waiting for Dave to just run off and be like, okay, I can't hold it anymore. I need to go shit.
How long can we keep this going?
Yeah. Our post show content's just Dave going, guys, please, please,
Stop being funny, guys. I have
let
shit.
me end
Can't
the
end
show.
it until we finish.
Mm.
I mean, I could just take the microphone in the bathroom with me.
Do it.
This is like a 25-foot XLR. I could probably make it happen.
God damn it.
Fucking.
How to lose all fans in one show.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's like I've burped in a few episodes. I think some of you guys have too. I wouldn't make anyone listen to my diarrhea. That's a bad idea.
You guys want to hear the dumb thing I did? This could be post show content instead of
Sure.
like a separate segment. So when I was grilling, listening to those shithead kids, I was like, it was kind of dark and we don't really have a light out there except for like the security light. So when you walk by it, it like lights up and that it stays on long enough for me to do what I need to do on the grill. But it was kind of where it's at. It was kind of like shading the grill a bit and I wanted to see better. So I was like, all right, I'm going to roll it over to like, cause it's just a Weber grill with like the 2-wheel situation,
Mhm.
tripod thing. And I was like, all right, I'm going to wheel it over to closer to the light. And then I was like, you know what? When people are over, it's not going to work as well with the seating situation. So I rolled it back. And then I was like, I stood there for a second and I was like, I'm actively grilling. My shit's going to be all over the place. And I opened it up and everything was out on the edges of the grill. Just like damn near rolling underneath into the charcoal.
That's fucking
It
funny.
was great. Yeah,
Whoops.
sweet. Now I have to fucking place everything back where it's supposed to be again. Idiot.
Dave, where I said Mr. Smitty, if you could just bleep out the Smitty, so it just sounds like Mr. Beep, that would be great.
Do you want to like maybe just throw in like a Jones or like a
Mr. Smitty.
Johnson or Smitty?
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Huge cock.
Smitty.
That's what it's gonna be.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Mr. Huge Cock.
As
Sorry.
a teacher, don't do that.
Sorry,
Dave,
Mr.
please.
Hugecock. Watch your language and just put it on repeat for 3 hours.
God, I don't want to take art with Mr. Hugecock again. You can throw glue sticks up on his ceiling. Saw Mr. Hugecock at the coffee shop this morning. It's fucking weird.
I will
Sorry,
bleep it,
Smith.
Smitty, but this is going post show.
God damn it. I will say, like, with the kids who fucking threw the glue sticks on my ceiling, I made both of them serve detention with me, and they were mopping my fucking floors.
Hell yeah.
This was the
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
This was the week we did clay too, so those floors were filthy as shit. And so, like, which I had to show these 8th grade boys how to use a mop and a bucket. So there's like some independent skills there not like being taught at home, which is now another fucking responsibility I've got to do. I got to play fucking dad and tell these kids like, hey, this is how you clean a floor. Like
Yeah.
I shouldn't have
Real
to tell
talk.
a 13-year-old boy how to use a mop or a broom. Like
Okay,
it's pretty fucking
a broom
intuitive.
for sure.
To-
I can't remember the last time I used the mop.
Yeah, I didn't learn how to use a mop until I was a delivery boy. I was like, I've seen
I was
people
gonna say
use them, but
I
own a
think that's the first time I did too.
I own a Swiffer. Like that shit's easy. You just like
Exactly.
put the pad
maybe
on
I'm
and it's
maybe
done.
I'm
Push
being
the
too
button,
harsh.
mop
But the broom
floor.
thing
That's
for
all you do.
sure is kind of bad.
Yeah, that I'll
Yeah,
agree
I
to.
agree.
Did you guys ever
Mhm.
have to like serve detention before, like when you're in school and shit?
No, I was a good kid. I never got in
I
trouble.
served lunch detention for something that wasn't really my fault.
I had one
That's
detention in my entire life.
I had several, and most of them were for like the most dumb bullshit reasons. And when we were in elementary school, the teacher that like would that you had to have like the lunch detentions with was like my best friend's mom, and she's like, I already know you're a good kid. This is probably something stupid. So we just like hung out.
Hmm.
And even in middle school, I had a few, but the teacher had the same thing. She's like, I know you're a good kid. This is just the reason why. She's like, so just do whatever.
Yeah. I never like write kids up unless I really have to. Because one, it's a hassle because I got to do paperwork. And two, like most of the time I give them the benefit of the doubt if there's any doubt on whether they did something. Because like, I'm like, fuck it. Who cares? It's if I give them like, if I write them up and they did something wrong and I can prove it, like they're most of the time they're probably going to do some dumb shit again. So it's not their first write up. But if I do have to write them up and it's like their first write up, I feel really bad about it because like they're
Mhm.
clearly like a well behaved kid who just made a bad decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seem like a cool teacher.
Yeah.
Smitty.
I mean, I keep my classes in order, but you can't like I don't play friends with any of these fucking kids because like
And
no fucking way will I be able to keep my job that way.
you
I'll
do
be a
drugs outside
pushover.
of school.
I do drugs.
How fucking cool is that?
That is
Yeah,
pretty
I mean,
cool.
I'd never tell my
As cool
kids
as
that
it
I
gets.
smoke copious amounts of weed every night, but
I liked-
that's for them to guess on if they want.
I liked when a teacher is real with you. Like when you do something, they'd be like, why are you being so stupid? Like,
I never say that, but I did tell a kid today, like straight up, there's a 6th grade boy who's being a pain in the ass. And he's been a pain in the ass all quarter. We got 3 weeks left in this quarter, and I had not written him up, even though I could have. But like, I was just like, he's got like undiagnosed ADHD, and he is so fucking impulsive because he's a 6th grade boy. Like, what are you gonna do? But today, I sat him out in the hall, or I sent him out in the hallway, and I literally pointed at him and like did the knife hand, where you have like the hand out and the thumb in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, you are at the center of every behavioral issue that I have in this class every single time get it together. I'm going to be sending you to the office every day.
Fucking annihilated his
yeah,
ass.
I was
dude.
just
Well, like I'm fucking sick of it, man. Like it's
And-
every single
no,
day.
I
This,
get
kid,
it, I
this
get it.
kid cannot like follow some directions. It's like go sit down, stop running, sit in your seat, go to your table, don't run. It's like the same shit over and over. And we're doing watercolor, so like water gets on the floor, and like I literally remember last week, I told him to not run. And he goes skipping across the room and immediately
Fell in the
falls on
pool.
his ass
You
because
didn't say
he
skipping,
slipped on
Mr.
some
Smitty.
water. And like he hurt himself. And I'm like, what did I tell you, kid? Like, come on. Like, I'm not power tripping. I'm trying to keep you safe and from busting your head open on the concrete.
In my head canon, Smitty, you took that kid out in the hall, sat him down, did the knife hands, and said, "I will fucking kill you."
I don't care enough about
That's where
some
my
of these
head.
kids
That's
to
where my
say
head
that
went
sort of thing.
immediately. I will end you.
I just remember our high school gym teacher would call us doorknobs because he didn't want to say the other thing. And he'd be like, why are you being such a fucking doorknob? I'm like, why are you dropping the F-bomb but not saying retard? Like,
Yeah.
your logic is messed up. But I get it. I'm done misbehaving.
Yeah.
It was fun.
We had a kid this year attempted to pants the gym teacher. And I don't know if he
Smart move.
succeeded because I
Ballsy.
never like talked to the gym teacher because he's like in the different part of the building. But like this kid is just like he's fucked for life now because no teachers gonna want to be around him. And like I used to have pretty good rapport with him last year. That's fucking gone. I hold him at like 10 feet away from me at all times. Like I do not want to be around this kid. Because
Yeah,
like
it's fucked up.
he fucked himself for like the rest of his school career here.
hmm
I don't know what actually happened other than he either tried or did succeed in doing this, but like that's a major fucking line you do not cross. That's like if that happened to me, I'd probably press charges because like he was trying to expose my junk to a bunch of other kids. Like that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids are shitheads, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Pretty
think I
satisfying.
don't necessarily think it's gotten worse. I think the influence of maybe gotten worse, but
Hmm.
maybe it has gotten worse. I don't know. On a long enough timeline, I'll probably get old and bitter and get like rose tinted glasses for my first like decade of teaching.
Gen Z had it all together. Man, I miss them.
What is Generation Alpha now?
It's alpha.
Yeah.
I was always just raised with the thought like if I do something bad enough, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. And I don't know if like a lot of parents still like have that kind of mentality. Like my parents weren't like rude or they weren't like abusive or anything. But like if I did something stupid like pants my gym teacher, you could bet that they're gonna kick the shit out of me for doing something that's stupid. Like I don't know. Maybe since we don't hit our kids, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But
I mean,
Maybe
there's
we
a lot
should
of
that could have
studies
something to
smacking
play.
the shit out of them,
there's
huh?
a lot of studies that say that's a bad decision to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
like,
that's
Yeah.
not
I
good.
turned out
Make
pretty
him
okay.
That- take the kid's fucking phone away. Take his games away. Like,
Yeah.
take his shit away. Like, if he's gonna be an asshole, like, take his shit away.
Yeah.
I've
Don't
always
beat him, but like, take his things away. Make him do something productive. Make him mow the lawn.
that's
Make him fucking do his own laundry.
my
like,
wife's
normal
career. My wife's career is like super tied to child development, and one of the biggest things she tells me all the time is like kids are meant to be bored. It's like you
Oh, yeah.
can't have screens, you can't have your phone, you can't have just like those easy pleasure centers. It's when you're bored as a kid that you develop your creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So like I went outside and I remember being a huge fan of like Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, and I would go out there and pretend I was fucking Dragon Ball Z and just having like a blast outside by myself.
That rules.
It fucking ruled, dude. I had a whole cast of fucking characters. They all lived up here in my fucking head.
Like these kids, like they do constantly need to be like doing something with their fucking phones or with a screen. Like I guarantee, like they're so like shitty about it too, because at the end of class, if we're done cleaning up, they'll be like, "Can we be on our phones?" I'm like, "No. Like, why do you need to be on your fucking phone for the last 2 minutes of class? Like, seriously, what are you gonna do in 2 minutes?"
That's another
But the-
thing I didn't
Come on,
really.
man.
I don't know. Obviously, because cell phones weren't like super popular when we were in school, but
Mhm.
like one of my cousins or whatever, he's a huge Star Wars nerd just like me, and I'll get like a message from him at like noon his time, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I just watched this." I'm like, "Aren't you in fucking school? Like, how the fuck are you doing this?"
Yeah. they got their Chromebooks, and sometimes they'll try to watch Netflix and shit. And like, I've straight up told them, like, I'm not here to babysit you guys. I'm here to teach.
Or
And
kids
if
that
you're
have
just gonna watch like a movie through my class, like you're only wasting your own time. I get paid to be here regardless.
yeah, like kids that always have like AirPods and stuff in. It's like, what are you doing, man?
You know, I do let them do. I let some of the 8th grade classes do that, like listen to music while they work,
Mhm.
because like I listen to music while I work and draw and stuff. But like, there are definitely some classes where I'm like, absolutely fucking not, because you're just gonna be on your phone the entire time.
Well, it's like one thing if it's like, hey, this is free time, and if like listening to music helps you focus or something, that's totally understandable. But if you're like in the middle of lecture and there's kids just like with them in their ears, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that pisses me off. I'll tell my kids, like, give me like 2 minutes of your attention, and then you can talk all you want.
Yeah.
Like, just give me 2 minutes. Or like, there are occasions where, like, I'm also one of those teachers who never like denies a kid to use the restroom unless they like are using, like, obviously using it to get out of class. That's a different situation. But like, if a kid asks me to go to the restroom, if I'm not like actively lecturing, like, I'm gonna say yes. And if I'm actively lecturing while they're or about to lecture, I tell them, like, wait until I'm done, and it's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops,
Yeah.
and then I let them go. Because like we all probably had teachers where it's like, no, you can't use the restroom, and then like that's the end of the conversation, and
And that's
that
when I
always
pissed my
fucking
pants.
sucks. Yeah, like
in kindergarten.
it's so shitty because like it's a human bodily function. I'm not gonna deny somebody using that unless it like obviously don't have to go because they're cutting class. But I don't know.
I hated the teachers when you asked to go to the bathroom. They're like, I don't know, can you? Like, fuck you.
Mhm.
Just tell me yes
Yeah,
or no.
it's like, I know what you fucking mean. You know what I fucking mean.
May I
asshole.
go to the bathroom? Fuck off.
Yeah. My response is,
I've heard that
if
trope
you-
a million times. I don't think I've ever met a teacher that actually did that shit.
Yeah, it.
If I had it happen, or I've
You've had
seen
it happen?
several
Yeah,
times.
I've-
Yeah.
I
yeah,
had it
same.
happen when I was a kid.
That sucks so many dicks, dude.
Mhm. Even as
It
like
sucks a lot of
even
dicks,
as a
yeah.
child, I'm like, fuck you. Let me go to the bathroom.
You remember the Spanish
Fuck
teacher
you.
we had who like gave us the bathroom passes, and if we didn't use them, we got like extra credit. But if we did use them, we had like
No,
4
that's
of them,
fucked
and
up,
if we
though.
used them up, we couldn't use the bathroom in our class for
That's
like the
fucked
rest
up.
of the quarter.
You have to like strategically plan your piss.
Yeah.
So you're
it's
like a
fucking
kid sitting in her
stupid.
class, just like, I could piss now, but it's only January, and the semester goes for another 5 months. What if
Yeah,
I have
it's
to
so-
piss
it's
more
so
later?
Fucking stupid. Like, just let the kid go to the bathroom. What is he? He's gonna be gone for like 2 minutes, 3 if he's got to take a dump. Like, you can let him do that, and then fill him in when he gets back. Especially if it's an emergency. What are they gonna do if it's an emergency? No, you can't go. You don't have more potty passes. Like, fuck you, lady.
Piss your pants.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry for ranting about youth.